It's shaking AC.
How's it going, man?
You know what? I'm just having a really, really great time. Everything okay with your hair there?
Like, this is what happens. You get on Zoom and you're like, shoot. You didn't first check. Anyway, sorry. What? Are you good? How are you?
Good. I'm good. Are you good? Is your hair good?
Yeah, I'm good. I think.
All right. Awesome.
I probably should have closed the door over there. Can you hear the birds?
Yeah, actually I can. It reminds me of that scene in that cartoon where they bring birds bring a dress and is that Cinderella? And
yeah, Cinderella. Yeah. They're just
a mouse named Gus Gus.
and then, like if I start to sing, it would definitely break the glass. Like on what song? Which on Shrek? I think I know that's an older movie now, but the Fiona when someone sings like making fun of one of those, and then like the glass breaks. That'd be me. Anyway.
And then 7 really short minors come in. Okay. Anyways, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What do you do?
Your question.
All right. What do you do when you want to open another franchise location and a neighboring or close by franchisee really isn't cool with it?
Ooh, guess what?
What?
This happened to me.
Really, eh?
I was a franchisee.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. Well, I'll speak from what should happen and how and what I believe will help prevent that from being a problem. So first of all, it's probably too late if you've already got that situation going on. But if you could rewind a little bit and set the expectation from the beginning when a franchisee gets into your system, even in the recruitment process, to say, one of the cool things about our franchise company is that we are in growth mode and, we potentially award you this territory. But so, we're always thinking about growth and where we can award territories. So if someone comes along and wants the territory next to you and if you're operating, performing, operating to standards, we'll probably offer it to you first, or maybe they'll negotiate that with you. But regardless, if you refuse, we have the right to develop that territory. And we want to, and that's good for company growth. So we want to start by setting that expectation. You've heard me say stuff about expectation setting lots before, right?
Yeah.
So we want to set the expectation from the get-go that we're always going to be in growth mode and that you have to be comfortable with that and know that if you decide to service a market beyond your kind of either exclusive territory or general area, that it's borrowed. You're borrowing that market.
Yes, I love the sound of that.
Yeah. So now that often hasn't happened early on, so unfortunately it makes it a little harder. But when you do have the situation where you want to go into a market, what I always try to encourage franchisors to do is, even before you need to go there, is to help franchisees always understand that there's 3 reasons it's really good for the franchise company to grow.
I love numbers. 3.
Yeah.
Count them down. What's number 1?
Yeah. So one of the reasons, or one of the benefits to a franchisee for franchise company growth is the more units, the more well-known and more brand awareness, the easier it's going to be for them to get customers.
Right.
When we brought our M&M meat shops to Vancouver Island, it looked like it was going to be a tough market, which is part of why my dad's like, you go do it. And so when we opened our stores, we thought that it was going to be like a real tough go. We were going to have to like get out there in the community. We did have to do that over time. But when we opened our first store, we were like double our projections. People totally knew the brand. And that's because the company had multiple units in different places. So people already knew the brand. Like, how awesome is that?
Cool.
Number 1 is the benefit is the increased brand awareness. Number 2 is the more units, the more royalties are going into the head office, which can then be used to make sure that you've got the latest and greatest technology for supporting franchisees, the right number of personnel, all the right kind of professional development opportunities and all these things.
Yeah.
So
important. Franchisees will think, hey, this is just for you to get rich. No. We're investing it back into you.
Which is another reason why speaking about this, and particularly number two, what I was just talking about, is a good idea. So you want them to understand that royalties go to supporting you. Like, where do you think the money's coming from, to build this infrastructure? Number three is that the more units are in operation, the more money is going into your brand fund, which again, in turn, helps grow the brand. So these three things they all have good implications for franchisees. So when I mentioned earlier, I've been there. We had opened my 3 stores on Vancouver Island, and it was time to open a 4th store. And we decided that, we're kind of good with the 3 for now. And the franchisor pushed to open that 4th store. And we're kind of like the classic franchisees. We're like, this isn't so great. But so yes, we did feel the hit on our revenue, for at least 6 months or so. But in the longer term, it benefits because more and more people know about the brand, and what they might cross shop or they move from one place to another. Like, we had a ton of people in Victoria, British Columbia, who had moved from Alberta or from Ontario that knew the brand because we were there. So this whole brand awareness, more people. So the point that we want to be making early on and throughout, regularly, and talking about with franchisees, whether that's one-on-one conversations when you have the opportunity, or in your, maybe monthly calls, or when you have a opportunity to do a conference, whether it's virtual or live, you want to be talking about a culture of brand growth and collaboration, that we help each other. We work together. When we add more units, we're in this together. It's not us against you going and adding a unit because we want to add a unit and make more money and put you out of business.
Yeah, it also sounds like one of your core values as a franchisor, whether it's explicit or indirect or whatever, is to be a big picture thinker. Think about the bigger picture and how it's going to help everyone, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's really, really important for franchisees to understand this. And I've also seen, kind of along this line, franchisees, when you don't help them understand the value of brand growth, you also miss out on the opportunity for them to be on the lookout for franchise prospects as well. So when they're thinking it benefits me if the brand grows, yeah, ideally, I don't really want someone opening in my market, but it would be good for the brand and the company if we grow, and I'm not ready to do that, and I don't want it. I don't want that territory. Then they're a little more likely, and I know this sounds a little bit Disney, but it can happen if franchisees really understand the brand growth, that that them helping find franchisees is.
Well, I mean, another struggle that you have is, like, you could have a franchisee that's performing really well and doesn't want business to be drawn away from them. But you could have a franchisee who's underperforming because of no fault of the franchisors. Maybe they're just the wrong person or whatever, or aren't really committed to it. And they say, there's no room for another franchise here, even in a neighboring location, right? Then you come up against a hurdle where you kind of have to say, yeah, there actually is. We've done the research. You kind of haven't. You're just underperforming because you're underperforming. And somehow you need to realize that this second location in your specific scenario isn't going to deplete your revenue. It's probably going to help you increase it.
Yeah, there's a really good chance that it's going to help because, again, more brand awareness in the market, more people talking about, say, Control V, maybe if it's a big enough city that it can fit a couple of Control Vs. Like, now you've got people going, hey, did you guys know about this place? Like, apparently there's one in the city, but it's been open, but I didn't know about it. Yep. And then someone's like, yeah, I just went to this new one that just opened, and they're like, wait, we have one in our area. Yeah. Now they're aware of it, right? So cool. It's big picture thinking for sure. And that's why I think having those conversations on the front end in the recruitment process is going to really help.
So 3 points. Number 1, it helps spread your brand awareness. Number 2,
in turn, makes it easier for franchisees to get customers.
Number 2, it brings in royalties, which allows a franchisor to support the franchisee. And number 3, it helps grow the brand fund, which essentially helps the franchisee as well, right?
Got it.
Let's wrap it up.
Now go BO.
You didn't count that.
3, 2, 1. No, go.
Be awesome.